All right, this is John. Hey, John, good morning.
Hey, good morning. How are you guys?
What's going on?
Nothing. Hard to follow that up, going back to Patriots talk. But I was just wanted to help you out, Greg, with your point. You know, the Patriots have been atrocious to watch this year. They're terrible, right? It's nothing like we've seen in the last 25 years. And as bad as that is, the reality of it is, the fact, is they're 3 plays away from being 10-6 right now. 2 bad calls and a fumble. Like, that's not debatable. Not saying they should be, because they're a flawed team.
Okay, John, quickly. You can say that they've also beaten all backup quarterbacks. You can go back to the wins and say they shouldn't have won those games too. They are what they are.
I'm not saying they're not flawed, and I'm not saying they should be 10-6. But my point is, if they were, we wouldn't be having this conversation about whether Bill Belichick needs to go or not. They need a new OC. There's no doubt about that, and they need offensive line help. There's no doubt about that. But at the end of the playoff game last year, where they couldn't stop anybody, they couldn't make Buffalo, they came around and they have now a jailhouse D. If their offense was even remotely serviceable, they'd be in the playoffs right now with the same coach.
How is the jailhouse D against good quarterbacks? How is the jailhouse D?
Cincinnati in the second half? Pretty good.
Well, then when they had already won the game.
Pretty good.
How about the Bills? The notion that you look at the Jets game where there is a total questionable roughing the passer call on a pick 6. You have another Jets game where you have a punt return for a touchdown as time expires. They've had games they've won that they maybe should have lost, and they've definitely had games they lost they should have won.
Yeah.
They are what mediocre teams do.
I know it pains you to give Bill any credit.
No,
but
you
I'm just
can
telling you.
I legitimately just did that in the last segment.
This is his coaching accomplishment this season. Should he be able to somehow will this team to a win on Sunday is extraordinary.
To have a season where you want to say it's the most impressive or most accomplished, Bill Belichick is not looking back at this season where we all have to tape our eyeballs open to get through a game to watch and saying, yeah, that's impressive.
They beat the Cardinals when their starting quarterback got injured in the first series after 3 plays. To say that they should be 10-6 is laughable.
Mm-hmm. Here's Nate in the truck. Hey, Nate.
Hey, how you guys doing?
What's up?
Hey, nothing much. Hey, on the whole CPR thing, I've been a firefighter for 18 years. It's very self-rewarding when you're able to kick in action and actually save somebody's life. I've had to do it for, I don't want to share, but I'll share anyway.
Yeah.
We deal with a lot of stuff, and I had a 12-year-old commits suicide. And it kicks into action where you have this strength that you don't think you had. And you just keep going and going and going. And people are like, oh, I'll jump in. You know, you're surrounded by other firefighters and police officers. And you try and you try and you try. And some things you don't have control over. But that training, though, the best thing anyone could have, because when you have to kick in that moment, you're able to do it. You know what I mean? And it's, I think we all should have some kind of training like that to be able to, that moment to kick it in. But anyways, that's not my main call.
Listen, Courtney's been saying that all week, and I think she's been making a great point. So but you were calling about Bill.
Yeah, I'm calling about Bill. Sorry about that, guys. I just had to speak up about that.
No, thanks for helping people too.
I love my job. I'll be honest with you, Courtney. It's the best self-rewarding that money can never give you, because you can't put a monetary value on that, of being able to look in that person's eyes and be able to, when they're in that moment of help and they need it, that you're able to give it to them. You know what I mean? But anyway, about Bill. I think with Bill, honestly, I think he's honestly set this stuff up.
We lost you.
He created all this with the fact of, his coordinators, defensive coordinators, offensive coordinators. I think
we're kind of losing you. But listen, I'm just go back to what I said earlier. Some of this is self-inflicted. Okay. Doesn't matter. He still had to overcome it. Everybody makes mistakes.
Yeah, it's hard
the guy made a huge one when it comes to Matt Patricia. Got it. but he has overcome it. The team is in the position to win and not go home on Sunday.
Sometimes you can't have it both ways. You put yourself in a position with Matt Patricia, that's one thing. You put yourself in another position when you lose your quarterback after sending Zappe back out. I was in support of that, but the fallout that came after, that falls on Bill. So it can't be his most impressive season after when they've been shooting themselves in the foot.
Here is the great Derek, the Steelers fan. Hello, Derek.
Good morning, everybody.
What's going on, D?
God bless all the first responders. If anything comes out of this, the spotlight on those people, what they do. So God bless them.
Yep.
That said, okay, I'll get to the genius in 1 second. Hill Dog, this game Sunday is example A of why I'll always stand against the geeks and the nerds who are trying to infiltrate the sports world and ruin it, by the way. Okay? This game has nothing to do with their goofy algorithms and their spreadsheets and all of that. This is pure, unadulterated humanity, emotion. That's what this game is. So you geeks and you nerds, get your little laptops out and watch this game Sunday. That's why you have no business in sports. What is going to happen on that field is all about the players and what they do and their emotion, and it's going to be beautiful. That said, to this notion, and it drives me nuts with, wanting to throw flowers at Belichick. They're doing the same thing down at Pittsburgh with Tomlin, and it makes me want to puke, okay? Bill's team has been an unmitigated disaster on the field since 12 walked out the door. It's not an opinion. You can't argue that. The penalties, the just complete operation that you people told me was like ironclad because he was playing chess while the rest of us were playing checkers is absolute bull crap. It's a steaming pile of crap.
So Tomlin didn't do a good job getting this team in the position to be a playoff team this season?
No, he didn't. He bumbled the quarterback's decision in training camp. They started off 2-6 because you know why?
You had the hardest schedule in football for the first 8 weeks. That's why.
Please, with that crap. Please. Okay? They beat Baltimore last week because they played Huntley and not Lamar Jackson.
Well, if they started 2-6, Derek, that means they're 6-2 in their last 8.
Right. They started 2-6, Curtis, because that guy's an idiot. Started that bum, Mitch Trubisky, who nobody thought could play, by the way. And the only team worse on special teams than your beloved Pats, Curtis, are the Pittsburgh football Steelers. They stink. Their special teams coordinator, I wouldn't let him fill the water buckets on my football team. He is a boob.
God, I love you, Derek.
He gets a little worked up.
Gets very worked up.
I don't understand. Yeah, they went 2-6 in their first 8 games. They had the hardest schedule in football, and it's not even close. Like, they had the Eagles, the Bills, the Dolphins, the Bucks, the Jets, the Patriots, the Bengals, and the Browns.
And the thing is that I would want, if I ran the Patriots, I would not want people like Greg, because I don't want people happy with this. Mm-hmm. I feel like you should be demanding more. The owner said before the year that they should win a playoff game. They're in position to still be in contention for that. But so many of the issues were compounded by just obstinance and total inability to be flexible with Bill Belichick.
I did, qualify it by saying if he is able to somehow win this game on Sunday.
That's the key point, because if they do that, you're right. It'll be the best win since Brady left. It'll be a winning season with Dumb and Dumber as the offensive coordinators, and it'll be surviving injuries to Mac and a total. But the thing is that the clunky Mac thing, as Courtney alluded to, was almost all the doing of Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
When I asked Bill if Mac's healthy, is he the starter, and he didn't answer it, that began a month, which was great for us.
But it started before that with the unnecessary arguing over which form of treatment he was going to have
Exactly.
on the ankle. I mean, it's self-inflicted a lot of times with Bill Belichick.
And we know our audience. We know the fan base. There is no way that people are going to walk away from this season. If they somehow get a win on Sunday, yes, Monday people will be very, very excited. If they get the doors blown off against either Buffalo or Cincinnati.
That's a different scenario. I mean,
But then it's a repeat of last year, and people are going to be pissed, and there has to be some serious changes to this team because running it back again, this team needs to get better. And you can't have Robert Kraft at the beginning of the season before any play started saying it needs to be an improvement on last season for me to be happy with it and have the same outcome. You can't.
And so if they lose Sunday, are you going to say this is a failure on Monday?
what do you define failure? I'm not going to say it's his best season ever.
Are you going to say that this season was a step
I'm going to
back?
say that he made a ridiculous decision when it came to thinking that Matt Patricia could serve as the offensive coordinator without the title, and that there are questions about Mac Jones, and that he needs to go out and get himself a weapon or two, a legit weapon for Mac Jones. If Mac Jones is going to remain the quarterback of this football team, then Bill needs to put the pieces around him, and that means a legitimate offensive coordinator, whether it's Bill O'Brien or whomever it is, and see what next year is. I mean, I don't expect a guy his second year in the NFL to lead you to a Super Bowl.
But it's a step back.
It is a step back, but it's not. I don't put it all on Mac. I don't think Mac has regressed. I think everything around him has regressed.
Yeah, that's how I feel on this show.
Who are you speaking of specifically?
Just Ken.
Just.
I think, I don't put it all on Mac. I get what you're saying because I think he was kind of set up for failure this season, but there's been some regression with his play as well.
I just don't, when it comes to the naysayers, I just don't put a lot of stake in what they're saying.
You can tell that he has taken stake in everything.
Yeah.
You're a bully.
All right.
You and Shime, the bullies.
Before
I stand against the bullies.
Yeah.
we take a break.